BCWSA, a look deep inside the game from a former player's perspective. The Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, is brought to you by BCWSA, The Pines Tavern, Penn Community Bank. We now go live for the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. We're live in the CP Rankin Club. We are actually outside the CP Rankin Club.
How about that?
Tommy Greene at Citizens Bank Park. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. Tita, we got a great show lined up today,
Yes,
a very
we do.
unique show, because we're going to talk about the Phillies week in baseball. I think the last 4 weeks we've been 5-1 in Phillies baseball.
Hey, what are you thinking? This week just like threw a kink in your plan.
We're 3-3, but we're ending on a good note. So, and we're going to go for the sweep tonight. We're going to go around baseball, and we're going to talk about news, stats. But it's ALS night tonight, and we have several guests tonight, including our first guest, which is Hall of Famer, national ESPN broadcaster Tim Kurkjian, of which I've had the pleasure of spending all day with. Tim, how are you?
John went and got us some pizza for lunch today.
He splurged,
among everything else that he gave.
From Celebrite's Pizza.
we broadcast for like 6 straight hours, and we couldn't have done 10 minutes without him.
What do you think about his title?
Director of Fun and Games. Well, today he was the director of making sure the show went well. Otherwise, we were dead.
Tim, he brings up a good question. Is there you've traveled all around baseball, right? You go to every club. And I know the answer. This is a rhetorical question. But is there a director of fun and games for any other team?
Yes, I do know this. In Williamsport, there is a guy there.
Really?
Yes, and he just won the big award at their, because I speak at their winter banquet every year. He won their big award. He is the director of fun and games.
That's actually his title.
That's his exact
awesome.
title.
Well, I take that as a compliment.
Right.
That is awesome.
All right, take that as a comment. All right, so Tim, you are obviously here as part of ALS night, and you were here last year. Why don't you tell the story about your brother Matt?
Well, my brother Matt died of ALS last September. My brother Matt was a great college baseball player. In fact, center fielder on his Catholic University team once said, if we had 9 Matt Kurkjians, we'd never lose a game. That's how good he was. But he developed ALS, and Tommy, he lost the ability to even grip a baseball. It was
unbelievable, man.
It was so awful. But he still threw out the first ball at a game one day because he's such a great athlete. He relearned how to throw a baseball, but eventually this wretched disease just overtook him, and he died. But in death, they named an award after him at Catholic University, the Matt Kurkjian Ultimate Teammate Award, because my brother was the greatest teammate ever. And as a ball player, the greatest compliment you can pay to a baseball player is he's a great teammate.
Yeah.
That's my brother Matt. We miss him every day.
That is
And
awesome.
during that ceremony when we threw out the first pitch, everybody on the team had number 2.
Oh my gosh,
Kurkjian.
Tommy, you should have seen it. He didn't even realize what was going on, but all of his immediate family there, we were wearing Catholic University jerseys with his name and number on the back. And then he looked to his right, and all 47 players on the CU team were wearing his jersey with his number on the back. And that's the first time I ever saw him cry during that ordeal, because it was a team thing.
Yeah.
These were his players. This is where he played. So it wasn't just, sensitive people. They were baseball players, and those were the 4 greatest years of his life playing baseball at CU.
All right, so about 15 minutes ago, we were just down in the clubhouse, and Tim, talk about the experience. You were down there along with Sarah Lang and along with Michael Brown, who we might be having on soon.
Well, we're going to have Michael on in a minute. So I told a similar story, because what has always struck me so much about baseball is how everyone is in this together.
Yeah.
If a teammate, the wife, daughter, son of a teammate dies, it's a member of the family that dies. And I have seen through my brother's ordeal and his death just how people pull together. Like, we asked Aaron Nola, can you come on and talk about ALS today? And he goes, of course I can, because he lost an uncle. Sam Hilliard plays in the Rockies. We called him. He said immediately, whenever anyone has a connection to ALS, anyone else who's had it, especially someone in baseball, is the first to arrive to say, just tell me what you need me to do.
Well, I know with the Phillies, he started when did it start? Back in the day when I was playing.
Well, the Phillies have been doing it officially since, I think, 1984.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it got big. It got big with what they were doing. When I was playing, they started with the events and stuff we were doing, and it was to be a part of something like that it was an honor, to do that. Now I'm involved in a bunch of different things, primarily the Darren Dalton Foundation, which is glioblastoma, which is to be able to make a difference in somebody's life, and that's exactly what we try to do with ALS and stuff. Make a difference in the family's life and also who has it.
This is what the game does for its players.
Yes.
It honors them, and when they need help, they help them. And that was my only message to the players today. Recognize, as you always do, that people need help here.
All right, so we were joined right here by Michael Brown as well. And Michael used to work for the Phillies as way back in 2004, I believe, right? A very good baseball player, college baseball player.
You know him?
Yes. And
you claim that?
Right, well,
I own that.
Yes, he knows a lot of people well. He was just unfortunately diagnosed with ALS, and that was probably about, 5 months ago, 6 months?
Back October 31st of last year.
Okay, and then just talk about the experience that you just had just 20 minutes ago down in the clubhouse, both of you guys. What took place in the Phillies clubhouse?
Oh, that was
first start with Rob Thompson.
Oh, terrific. He just is super friendly. The entire organization super friendly. They couldn't be more hospitable. Just really caring for us and what we're kind of going through. When I say us, I mean the families there, because I was fortunate enough to have my wife and kids there as well. It's nice to be around people who truly understand, or can appreciate what we're going through, because it's a tough battle that we're going through.
And I saw a lot of guys too sticking around, came up to you and your family, a lot of the players, and wanted to shake your hand and talk to you personally.
Yeah, no, that meant a lot. We talked about just having a good perspective on things, general perspectives, understanding that no matter how tough your day might be going or tough things are at work or whatever the case may be, there are people out there. I mean, it's the same thing I do for myself because I have tough moments during the course of a day, and I just have to remind myself that no matter how bad things are for me, there are people out there who are struggling way worse than I. We're very fortunate the love and support from so many people, my college teammates, my family, my friends, the guys I coach with, the teams I coach. We have a really good support system. Not everyone has that. So if you look at perspective, tough times, however, there's a lot of really good things that come out of it, and understand that, I'm going to be okay.
Yep.
We're going to be okay. There are people really struggling a lot, like I said, a lot worse than the rest of us. And then understand that we got to balance our extreme optimism and our positive attitude, which is always a really good thing, but understand that there's a reality check too, and we got to somehow balance that out and kind of just live in the moment. Can't worry about things that's already happening.
Yep.
It's past us. Can't go back and do anything about it again.
And
we don't have to get too far into the future. We just live in that moment, and it's I would say task at hand.
Yep, and it's nice. With Tim, been with Tim all day, and Tim was just talking about how has reached out on his podcast today and live streaming. A lot of whether it's Brandon Crawford, I mean, you've had a lot of different guys, and it just shows you that there's so many people just in baseball that are affected, but obviously throughout life.
Right. There wasn't a problem getting anyone to come on today because they all understand the importance of it. How were you not intimidated being 5 feet from Bryce Harper while you were talking? I was very impressed.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Now,
cool.
your one daughter was nervous.
I haven't been that.
Your one daughter was nervous. Did she handle it?
Well, no, she handled it because oddly enough, or coincidentally enough, her name is Harper.
Right.
But she's that was before Bryce. We were Bryce Harper.
And he gave the kids all brand new baseball bats.
Oh, is that right?
That's so cool.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
It's very, very generous. Made them feel really special, which is kind of what it's all about. And the thing that, I thought about it earlier, which was really crazy that Mr. Kirchner was here, because I told guys, like, when you experience something like this, never go on the internet, first of all.
Right.
Never go on the internet because it's horrible. It's all terrible, except for every now and then you find a bright moment. And it was months ago I saw that interview that I described with your brother Matt, and he described the Lou Gehrig's speech about how he said he's the luckiest man on the face of the earth, and I joked around before. I'm like, before I had this diagnosis, I'm like, did he mean unluckiest? There's no way he meant luckiest. And then Matt said, I believe I said relatively accurately, right?
Yes,
I didn't,
you did
I
great.
didn't misquote him.
Nope.
He said, to really understand what Lou Gehrig said, you have to have this disease. And when I heard that, it was like a little bit of an epiphany, understanding like, oh my God, yeah, I'm now seeing all these people who I didn't even know I really had an impact on, or really appreciate the impact that they've had on me, all reaching out and providing that love and support. It really truly makes you realize, like, listen, I'm a pretty lucky guy, especially in a really unfortunate situation. We're still very lucky.
Well, the Phillies have been doing this event since 1984, and we've raised over $23 million for this dreaded disease. So, well, God bless both of you guys, and let's keep up the fight, and let's keep, get people aware of this disease, and just keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Right,
and both of you guys can be introduced on the field in about 15 minutes, I think. So,
Good to see you, brother.
good luck with everything, and
Thanks.
we're all thinking of it.
Thank you.
All right, pal. See you guys. All right. Coming up in the show, Tommy Greene and I will talk about, we'll probably glance over a little bit the first part of the week, right? Because it didn't go so well. But
we got to touch base on that a little bit.
Touch base a little bit. We'll accentuate.
Everything can't be cotton candy and rainbows.
That's
and
true.
confetti.
But this could have been a lot worse, because I tell you what, yesterday, and we'll get into this, but yesterday when that ball went off Ranger, and it looked bad, his facial expression,
he was hurt.
I mean, he looked like he was
hurt.
And I didn't see it live. I was actually given a tour, and then someone said, "You see what happened to Ranger?" And I didn't even know he wasn't on the mound. Yeah. And I said, "What happened?" And also my heart sank, just like I'm sure everybody, if they watch it live.
Right down to your stomach.
Right down the stomach. And you basically kind of like, I kept texting, my wife's back home. I said, Jill, have they said anything on the TV? I didn't want to text our PR people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until today where I saw a tweet that said, and it was just not too long ago,
contusion,
where it said, well, we knew it was a contusion, but then, and x-rays were negative, but then today it said, swelling's gone down big time, and it looks like we're going to be okay. And it helps that we have some days off with the London trip.
Which is good. I mean, he needs that. You got to make sure he's right. He gets his strength back in his hand, too.
Yep.
That's the big thing. Because you start favoring doing things, that starts, messing around with the elbow a little bit. And you don't want none of that. You want him right coming back. Those extra few days like that is a huge thing with something like that. When I saw him got hit, I mean, I was like, okay, hope it didn't catch nothing flush.
And that had to have come
like bone flush.
And he's such a great fielder. That had to have come a big shot.
It was like 107 miles an hour. I mean, it was smoked.
Well, Phil's dodged a bullet. So we're going to talk about the beginning part of the week. We'll talk about the end of the part of the week. We also have Anthony Sanfilippo from Crossing Broad that'll come on at 6:30, and we are hoping to get our man Jason Firestone, who he better bring double the food since he wasn't here last time.
He better bring some Fred Flintstone ribs or something.
Well, that Fred Flintstone turkey thing was my favorite of last year. All right, Tom, we're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk some food. You listen to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the CP Ranking Club at Citizens Bank Park.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA. Proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live at the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. And Tommy, I got to let you know, consider a career at Septa. Septa is hiring a variety of skilled trade positions, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, millwrights, and more. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org. And the reason why I just swallowed right there is because I had a little food in my mouth. I wasn't ready for Jason Firestone to come up so early.
Hey, you made all of us smile.
I think I just had sweet potato funnel cake something, but I'm going to have Jason.
Yeah, what is it? It looks good.
Jason, what do we got here?
All right, so first off, I guess we'll start with the savory items. That's the Extreme Bulldog. So we have a Bulldog every day at Bull's Barbecue out in left field. This is the extreme version.
Massive.
So house-made chili, sharp cheddar cheese, and some raw onion on there. So that's been a hit. That's a special for this month out of Bull's. And then right next door at Coke Corner in the treats window, we got funnel cake fries.
Wow. I just tasted that.
Yeah.
Tommy, are you allowed?
That's a diabetic nightmare.
Are you allowed anything here?
The inside of that hot dog.
All right. All right. Looks like Tommy's very happy.
We'll split it.
How's it going so far?
The crowds have been insane. I mean, 44,000 every night. We are putting out food and drinks like I've never seen.
What are some of the big items?
That's definitely a two-hander job right there, man.
Right,
it takes both hands to eat that thing.
What are your biggest hits so far?
I mean, our classics are always going to be cheesesteaks, tenders, hot dogs, French fries, crab fries, obviously.
Yep.
But I would just recommend get here early, get in line. You know, get your favorites because.
How's that fishbowl drink? That's vodka and
so we do frozen margaritas and frozen Tito's and lemonade, and people love those as well. Those are our fastball freeze. So
all right,
fish bowls. That mean
yeah, that was like more of a slider freeze or something. It was all right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. All right, Jason, I really appreciate it. And good luck, because I know you're really busy because we have another sellout tonight.
Yeah, we missed you last week. Last time.
But he came through, Tommy, right here.
Yes, he did.
All right, well, we're hoping to have this look. We don't know whether we're going to be at this location, whether inside or outside.
This is great.
It was such a beautiful night with the crowd behind us. And I figured it'd be a great time. So.
Absolutely. Thank
you, guys.
Right,
Jason Firestone. All right, really appreciate it.
Brother.
All right, I can't wait to dig in. Chris Irmer's already going to dig into that. And I know, Tommy, you're going to have some too.
I'm going to have a little piece of something.
As you should. All right, Tommy, it is time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. And here are the stats, okay? It's pretty simple. The Phils, we have a night game tonight, right?
Yeah.
And we are home, right?
Yep.
The Fightin' Phils are 18-3 for home night games. We are 18-3 home night games,
Stay hot.
and 2 of those losses were earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had the best record in baseball. I didn't see what the Yankees did today, but we were a half game ahead of the Yankees.
Yeah.
And we have won or tied 15 series, and we've only lost 4 series.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to do. You need to win series
Yes,
if you want to
exactly.
go forward.
Yes, you need to win, series, and that keeps you going. Do it yourself. Don't rely on somebody
Right.
else.
Yep.
So in other words, let's play some decent baseball. Play
Yep.
good defense. Make the routine stuff. Let's do those well.
Some other stats, too. Last night, the Phillies scored 3 times the opening frame, and they lead the majors with 48 first-inning runs. And San Diego's,
That's awesome,
San
right
Diego's
there.
next at 44. I mentioned that we secured our 12th series victory, which is great. And the last one is Bryce Harper. That home run he hit yesterday,
That was
Woo!
That was smoked.
that was his hardest hit home run of the season, according to StatCast. So,
That ball was jumped on right there.
yes. So, obviously, a lot of really good stats. And you got to give, we'll talk about the game, but Spencer Turnbull, what a game yesterday. 3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. So, good for that.
Yes.
So, again, a lot of great stats. And that was your Philly Smart Stat of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Call them again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. All right, you can listen to the show on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, your station in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County. You can also watch it live on WBCBsports.com or search WBCB Sports on YouTube. All right, Tommy, I told you we talked about the week in baseball.
Yeah, we got to do.
So
some
we
of
have
that.
to. We're going to go kind of rapidly.
Yeah.
But the first on Sunday, we finished up the Rocky series.
Well, I mean, we talk about that. Just I really want to hit real quick on that. People were jumping on like the Phillies that haven't played anybody, and you heard my rebuttal. I said everybody with a bat in your hand can hurt you.
Right, and the Rockies were hot.
They were hot, and the Giants were hot.
Right.
They were 8-2 going in when we come into town. We caught a team that was hot, and look what happened. They gave us some issues. They run in some good pitching, and that stuff happens a little bit. So. We got I don't like people coming out there talking about that stuff because these are big league teams.
And the Cardinals have gotten better since we played them the first time.
The big league teams.
And I think Milwaukee's won 7 straight. So, we could that's gonna be a tough series.
Yes,
yes. All right, so the Rockies are obviously, and they've had some guys that are back.
Yes.
They didn't have a couple of the guys that are big hitters. Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
McMahon didn't play.
Yeah.
Well, it was McMahon that basically gave Suarez the first loss of the season. He hit that first home run. Quantrill is a good, you played with his son,
with his
or
dad.
I mean.
Yeah, I played with his daddy.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was Suarez, 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs.
He didn't give up 3 hits. So what was the issue? He walked guys.
Right.
He walked guys.
He had 4 walks.
That's the only time he's done that this year. So, I mean, you could call it a clunker. He just got out of whack a little bit. Do we count the thin air up there? I mean, something to do with it a little bit?
Good.
I don't know, but, it's just one of those games, and you got to take it by the chin. We still had the opportunity to, we weren't that far out. We could have won it. I mean, I had a chance to get close to come back and win.
But when you get down 5-0 early, it's tough to come back.
Tough.
So, all right. So then we go, as Tommy, you mentioned the Giants, and the Giants were playing good baseball.
Yeah.
And you're playing Blake Snell. Now, Blake Snell has not been on a roll. In fact, he's had a tough year.
That don't hurt my feelance whatsoever.
Right. And he made some positive strides, but he didn't pitch a great game.
No.
But it's just unfortunately, and we had whatchamacallit on the mound. We had who do we have on there?
We had Walker.
That was Taijuan Walker.
That was
okay,
Walker.
so that was the Walker game.
No, but you look at that. What's the thing that sticks out? I got 3 errors up there, and you start giving even though it was just 1 unearned run, you start giving away runs.
Yep.
The momentum and stuff changes the ball game.
Yeah,
we had
Merrifield and Bohm had a tough game on that, and again, we just didn't throw. I mean, we had Walker on the mound who
it just seems
bit.
like really one inning that bangs him up. He gives up that big crooked number. Like a 3 or 3 spot or something like that, and that bangs him.
Well, 6 innings.
He went 6 innings.
And he went 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Now there's the stat that he's got to improve is what is his best pitch? A splitter, right? And guys are hitting over 500 on the splitter.
Well, that means he's hanging.
So he's hanging him. He's not getting it low. obviously, I guess the velocity's down a little bit too.
Well, see, the thing about a splitter, you just can't rely on you throw a splitter every pitch.
Well, he's got
the other stuff's got to set it up.
Right.
That appears a splitter's got to look like your fastball and come out on that plane and then disappear out of the zone. Drop below the zone. If you're trying to throw it for a strike, that's when you're getting issues, not going to react right. I think that's just my point of view on it.
Again, we got down 3-0. We battled back 3-2. Schwarber homer, which is a good sign. 3-3.
Yeah.
And then we actually go up 4-3. So you think all right, we got this. We got through the tough stretch, but then they just kept clawing away. They tied it up 5-4, 6-4.
Yeah.
Ended up putting the game away 8-4 in the 7th.
Yeah, we couldn't add on any of ours. So
that was that one. All right. Then this is going to be our 3rd game in a row we lost. And this was a tough one because we had Zach Wheeler on the mound.
Wasted start.
Pitched a great game, and it's just unfortunate you're going to have these games where the offense just doesn't show up.
That's what it was, a well-pitched ball game.
And
1-0 ball game.
And the Giants, that was their 10th win in the last 12 games. So you're right. Anybody can
beat. An extra
beat.
inning game, too. It was a nothing ball game after 9. I'm all about a good pitched ball game.
Sure. And Zach Wheeler, he threw 101 pitches, struck out 9. He allowed 2 hits. 2 hits. And he was a Giants prospect.
Yeah.
He came up through the Giants system. Yeah. So, so in 2 starts this season, he's held him to 1 unearned run.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, it wasn't his fault. It's just the day that our offense didn't get going. If you look at our offense, we had 7 hits. We had Schwarber at 2 and Sosa at 2. Runners in scoring position, we were over 5. And left on base, 9.
Yeah.
But to say a positive, you had Wheeler, again, 2 hits, 6 innings. Kirkering clean. Alvarado clean. He had 2 walks. Hoffman clean. 2 hits, but he got his. And
no
Strom.
Runs. Yeah, everybody.
So, and Strom's really
Strom's he's got the ghost runner, which don't get me started on it. I hate the extra inning the way they do it now. Some people like it. I don't.
Was not earned.
Because look at what goes. The L goes beside the pitcher's name.
Yep.
And that's not his runner out there.
Yep.
So, and I mean that's I just don't like that. But hey, the game's the way it is now. We have to try to live with it.
I'm with you. All right, Tommy, consider a career at Septa. Septa relies on and needs bus operators, train engineers, and conductors. As a Septa employee, you earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org. All right, coming up on the show, we're going to have Anthony Sanfilippo from Crossing Broad. And we'll talk about the game last night. We'll talk about the Cardinals series.
Okay.
So Anthony gets all the good stuff. We get all the bad stuff out of the way. But he might get some fries. Since, that's we're going to pay him in fries. All right, coming up, you'll hear Anthony. You are listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live at the CP Ranking Club at Citizens Bank Park.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. We are live with the CP Rankin Club. We are outside, a first time doing this, which is very unique. I love the view, right? You can see everyone on Facebook Live can watch the view. And
we're getting a little bit of rain.
Felt a little rain.
Yeah, about
All
that.
right, Chris Ermer's now going to start to have to think about this one. Didn't even know this was in the forecast. All right, we are joined by Anthony Sanfilippo. Anthony, are you ready to run and move inside?
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready, whenever you guys want to move, I'm ready to go.
We're going to work this one through. All right, so I understand you're with Crossing Broad.
Yes.
But before we get into Phillies analysis, you have a Tommy Greene
I have
story.
a Tommy Greene. So this.
Oh, I'm scared now.
No, you shouldn't be scared because it was from a great moment in your career. So when I was in high school, I'm going to date us a little bit here, which was 1991 was my senior year of high school. And our math teacher,
I was 24.
So I was 17. So we're not that far apart. But our math teacher said, "Hey, by the way, did you know Tommy Greene's in the middle of pitching a no-hitter?" Well, we couldn't. There was no, internet or anything like that back then.
And he's not allowed to say that. He's jinxing it.
Right? So he tells us this, and we're like, oh, my God, right? So senior year, we had already mailed it in pretty much at that point. And so me and a
May
bunch
23rd,
of right,
yep.
me and a bunch of my friends, we went into I had them go into the theater where you could do like a study hall kind of thing, but there was no supervision. And I went up into the light booth where they had a television. And I watched the last 3 innings of that game and broadcasted it to my friends below.
Oh, that's awesome.
On the God mic from the theater. And all my friends said, you should go into sports broadcasting.
And that's how you got your start?
I wasn't thinking about it in college or going into college. When I went away to college, I said, let me do some radio. I did a little bit of radio there, and then I ended up doing WIP in Philadelphia. And lo and behold, I became a writer.
Tommy, how about that?
All because of Tommy Greene.
All because of you.
How about that,
See, the world revolves around Tommy Greene.
Yeah,
That's good.
Around Brazier.
All right.
They're fun and games. That's what my life revolves around.
There you go. Well, Anthony, thanks for joining us. This is
Absolutely.
great. Let's talk about this team. First time we've had you on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know expectations were high, and we knew, like in spring training, they had a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
But did you expect to see, at this point, the Phillies had the best record in baseball?
So I've been telling everybody that when I go on our podcast, we had predicted the Phillies to actually win the World Series this year, which we'd never done before. In 6 years we've done it, never done that.
Yeah.
And I said I thought that they would run down the Braves and win the division. Even me, with my great optimism, I never saw 41-18.
Right.
Like I thought that they would get off to a start to be able to hang in with the Braves and pitch and play enough with the Braves because I like the pitching staff and the lineup good enough. But this is next level, and I kind of got a sense down in spring training when we were down there. This team was on a different kind of a mission, and I kind of thought, you know what, they might even be better than I originally thought they were going to be. And so far, knock on wood, everything's going well.
And,
for them.
I've heard.
Knock on wood, the injuries have
Yep.
They've
Right.
had the next man up type attitude. They've stepped up the guys and filled in from when they needed to do, and we've had some big time plays.
Yeah,
man, from guys.
absolutely.
I get this question a lot. I'm sure you guys do too. They say, is this sustainable? Now, what I say is, yes, it's sustainable. I mean, obviously, injuries are a big part of it. We've been able to survive certain injuries. But, we haven't really seen the total upside of Schwarber.
Right.
Castellanos is starting to get hot,
A little
right?
bit, yeah.
Turner's going to come back, although Sosa has been playing very well. We've had a lot. It's not like guys are maxing out what they've done. There's still room for improvement.
Yeah.
And, keep going. I think the guys that are doing well, there's no reason why they can't continue to do well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And really, when you look at it, they're 41-18, and some guys have had great starts, but it's been all about the pitching.
Right.
Right?
There's no question.
The pitching has been lights out. And that's the question is, can the pitching be sustainable? I think it can, because you look at the front end of the rotation, Wheeler and Nola have proven that they can do this over the course of a season. Ranger, assuming he's healthy, which it sounds like he is, we'll see if he can give you those 180, 190 innings, which he's never done before. But it's looking good because he had his first full spring training.
And that was the big key. We talked about that for years.
No injuries, no visa issues.
No visa of getting here and having a full spring training.
Correct.
And getting through it healthy. Because we always knew he could pitch.
Right.
It's just getting him to start up, getting him ready.
And you could attest to that, Tommy, like what that means for a pitcher to have those 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
To be a starting pitcher, spring training is geared all around us.
Right.
I think, because the hitters don't need that long.
Right.
We need it. We need to get stretched out, especially back when I pitched. We had to, because we were throwing over 100 pitches all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I knew I threw, before I left spring training, I threw over 100 pitches 3 times.
Right.
Before we left. And that way, when we knew we hit the gates, our first outing, we could go.
Right.
We were ready to go.
Right.
So, that's the thing. It's just different in that aspect these days.
Correct. Correct. So, that's why I think it is sustainable. I mean, I've been impressed with Christopher Sanchez. He's really surprised me.
God,
he's a bigger Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
Younger. I think it's a good mold, a model for him to sort of follow a little bit. With Ranger
if Ranger wasn't on this team right now, we'd all be talking about Sanchez.
Correct.
Sanchez. And he gets kind of a little buried a little bit.
Yep.
Right? But what a 4th starter. I mean, I don't know how you have a better 4th starter out there.
Well, the thing that's impressed me the most about him, 2 things. One, he's got that fastball up to 97 now.
Right.
Yeah,
that wasn't something he was showing the last year and even the beginning of this year. And secondly, he's mentally so much easier to focus on what he's got to do because he's getting out of jams.
Yes.
Which last year he got runners on base that would get him. Right.
Yep.
No more.
Well, sometimes that happens. You know. I mean, you go through it's the maturation process of dealing with the stuff that happens during the ball game.
Yep.
Do you let it get out of hand, or do you? And here's what I like to say, and I don't like it these days because it's the clock's on you.
You're right.
When things start getting out of control a little bit, it was my baseball. I could step off the back of the mound and take and get back control of my emotions and my feelings. Don't let them get haywire, and it can.
Right.
It can do that. So it's a big thing to see him make that step.
And
that maturation.
And do you think success amongst the starting pitchers? Do you see success breeding success, like a competition amongst? So Wheeler has a good start, then all of a sudden Nola's coming up next, and he just watches Wheeler do that, or whoever it is, right? I mean, do you think success begats success?
Yes, 100%. And it's friendly competition, and that works.
The same way with us back then.
Right, and
was the same.
It works.
The Braves, I played with all those guys the same way.
Yeah, it really does work. There's, everybody talks about, they kind of joke with us a little bit. The fans don't always buy into it, but when we talk about the vibes in the clubhouse, right? There is a lot that means, right? When you have a team that's contending and is competitive, wanting to play for each other and win for each other and picking each other up at all times, you see the difference between a successful team, when this team's able to come from behind and win games and even when they're not at their best.
Never out of a ball game. You got that. You got that gut feeling.
Yeah.
You're never out of a ball game.
And you can see it with other teams around the league. 90 miles to our north.
Right.
They blew another one in the 9th inning today. That kind of thing.
Well, then you got to watch Frank the Tank. I don't know if you follow him on social media.
Frank. Yes.
Right? Frank the Tank. After a Mets loss, it's guaranteed viewing.
Total meltdown.
Right.
Total meltdown. But that's why I say that how close this team is matters as well. So, yes, the friendly competition falls into that intangible category.
All right. How about let's talk about yesterday's game. Again, talk about the depth of this team. That Suarez gets hit. I'm sure everybody, including yourself up in press row, everyone's that cares about the Phillies is breathing a sigh of, oh my God, what's going on? Is this season like going to majorly be impacted right here? Because it looked bad. Yeah. And his body language was not good.
He puts his glove up over his mouth.
He was hurting.
Yeah.
He
right.
was hurting.
So all of a sudden we get good news today, but last night Spencer Turnbull comes in. Talk
Holy
about
cow.
depth. He comes in and talk about Spencer Turnbull.
3 innings, 9 batters, 6 strikeouts.
Yep.
Nobody gets on base. He was electric last night with his stuff. The one thing that's really impressed me, I don't know about if you feel the same way, Tommy, right? In baseball these days, it's all about pitcher velocity. And this team is kind of a throwback.
Totally throwback.
I mean, yes, there's guys in the back end of that bullpen who throw 98, right?
Yeah.
99. But your starters, and I include Turnbull in this category because he really is a starter, are pitching.
Yeah.
They're pitching.
You got to pitch.
Right?
You
It's
know?
a little bit different. And it's like, I think it's throwing off the rest of baseball because nobody else is trying it this way.
You're right. They're all doing like the Rays way of just having big guys come in and throwing.
Baseball's been played that way
Right.
for how many years?
Exactly.
And the way we went, we had guys that threw hard.
Yeah.
We just didn't get into all the whoop-ah about it.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
You know, it's about what you do with throwing hard. Do you get people out or don't you?
Right.
People that get throw hard don't necessarily mean you will get people out.
Correct.
That means you're not commanding what you're doing. And
Yeah.
that's what these guys are commanding what they're doing.
And it was interesting. Turnbull last night on the postgame show, they asked Scott asked him, "What is your mentality when you're in the bullpen or coming and start?" He said, "When I'm starting, I have time to prepare. I have time to work on a lot of different pitches in the bullpen. I'm basically going to have a strategy that I'm going to use all 5-6 pitches." He said, "When you're in the bullpen, you're brought up, and you might not be able to work on certain things, and you probably are going with 1, 2, maybe 3.
You got to get loose.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Right?" And he
You got to
said,
throw your fastball.
He said, "I'm probably going like 2 pitches, and I'm basically going to attack him in a different way."
Right.
Right, as opposed to a strategy when you're starting. You're going to have a couple bats.
Right.
So it's just really interesting. This team has just been so much fun to watch.
Well, it all depends on Brazer to hit on that note. It all depends on the type of pitcher you got. I know if I had things going on and had a good fastball today, I didn't show anything else until I needed to.
Right.
If I was locating early, I had 4 different quadrants I could mess with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And work off that. Why show somebody something else just because?
Right.
And if they're not catching, if I throw one by you, and I'm just going to change location a little bit more, and try to go that way. Why slow it down for them?
Correct.
That's the thing. You sometimes we get in trouble trying to do too much,
overthinking it.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
overthinking it.
Yep.
Some of the best advice I ever got was from John Vukovich. Talking about scouting reports and stuff. We file out a coach's office, after getting the report of the Cubs, and I was pitching that day. He said, "Tommy, you pitching that day?" "Yes, I am." He knew I was pitching. He put the lineup on the board for Ferguson. He says, "Forget everything we just said. High fastballs, hard sliders, go get them. Don't think."
There
He
you
says,
go.
"Do what you do well."
Yeah.
And if I do what I do well, if we do
Sure.
what we do well, I'm going to give them a hard time.
That's right.
So, and that's the way we went about it.
Anthony, are you going to be going to London? The team's flying out.
I am not
You will
going
not
to
be
London.
going. Okay.
I'm going to London, no.
All right.
I ain't either.
I'll be watching it from home.
Well, I won't be doing our shows the next 2 Sundays. I'll be away.
Send pics, Braze.
I'll send some pictures. I'll hoist a pint of ale
Don't
for
rub
you.
it in now.
Well, you'll be at the shore.
Oh, yes,
No,
I will.
I don't feel so sorry for you.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, also before we let you leave,
Yeah.
you cover a lot of sports.
I do.
What do you like about baseball compared to other sports?
It's the one that I've always wanted to do. I was a baseball fan as a kid. I played baseball.
Yeah.
It was the one I've always wanted to cover, and I would do it here and there. But I covered hockey. That was the sport that they gave me,
no
right?
clue about hockey.
So I did a lot of hockey. But baseball is a game that you can romanticize, and as someone who tells stories, I like to romanticize the story of baseball because the way that the game moves. There's so much more to it for you to do it that way. And
do you like listening, like the radio people?
I love it.
I mean, I love it. There's
I love
nothing but, to me, still hearing Harry in my
Yeah.
head, but like when I leave here today, sometimes I stay and watch a couple innings, but a lot of times I leave to get in the car to listen to L.A. and Francis.
Yep.
Well, we've been very blessed in this city.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Unbelievable.
I was about to say the same thing.
In all
We've been
sports.
so blessed.
In all sports.
But
Merrill Reese.
Yeah,
and
Merrill
Reese.
Yep,
Yeah,
for
you got it.
sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Tom McGinnis. It just goes on and on.
Yeah, and then the hockey guys have been there forever
Yep.
and ever. JJ and Timmy Saunders, right? So those guys, we've been so lucky. But it was my soundtrack as a kid to listen to baseball, and so to now be able to be down here for every home game, or almost every home game, and to share my interpretation of it and my vision of it with other people is almost like giving back to what the game gave me as a kid.
That's
why I love it the most.
You're good at what you're good.
Yeah,
what you do.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
All
right,
and you got that passion for it.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, then last question is going forward right now, we are going for the sweep right now against the Cardinals. And then we've got a tough one. We got the Brewers coming in.
Yeah.
Brewers have, I think, won 7 in a row, right?
They're playing pretty good ball right now.
They're a little bit of a surprise. I mean, I didn't think that they were going to have the pitching this year after losing.
Because they got Corbin Burns.
And then they had Woodford got hurt last year. So I didn't think that they were going to have the pitching.
That's what's so amazing about the game, man.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. It's like the Braves. It's the next man up type thing. And they always tend to have that guy there that kind of helps them, and that's the key.
Yeah.
I mean, these are big league teams,
and
everybody scouts and drafts, and there's talent everywhere,
right?
Man, and it's about putting it together at the right place.
But I think that there's going to be a little bit of a friendly thing with the Brewers because I think they're going to want to get Reese.
Well, right. I'm looking forward to seeing Reese.
Right.
Yeah. I hope Reese doesn't do anything to give him a positive. Well, in the very beginning,
I
love Reese. Reese is one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
I just hope he doesn't do any damage
man.
on the field.
Yeah.
Pre-game, I'll be giving him the biggest cheer. And I won't do anything else, obviously, during the game.
Exactly.
I'll be rooting for him, but hopefully, as long as that doesn't cost the Phillies.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, I really appreciate it.
Those were up like 8-0 to nothing, 8-1 or something like that.
Yeah, and then let him have a couple of home runs. All right, Anthony, we'd love to have you come back throughout the year. We'd love to have you. All right.
Absolutely.
See you, brother.
Anthony
Thanks,
Sanfilippo, really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
John.
All right, coming up in the show, we're going to get you ready for tonight's game. We'll give you the lineups. You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We're live from the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park. You know, being outside is awesome, Tommy, but there are certain things we didn't. The crowd's awesome. We got a ceremony You know, we have the ALS patients.
Yes.
We have some videos. But we didn't count for a little bit of the rain, although it's held off, knock on wood.
Yeah. Chris was starting to get that panic look.
We got the national anthem, so let's get you set up right now for the game today.
Yeah.
Here's the lineup for the Cardinals. We're going for the sweep. For the Cardinals, it is Mason Wynn, probably their best player right now, hitting .301. Alec Burleson batting second, playing left field, .275. Paul Goldschmidt, 7 home runs, but only .222 average.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Yeah, he's 5 for 12 against Walker with a home run. Nolan Gorman's their big power guy, batting playing second base, 10 home runs. Nolan Arenado having a down year, leave him alone too. Third base.
Yep.
Matt Carpenter, 0 for 9 against Walker. Ivan Herrera catching, batting 7th. He's got 3 home runs, batting .260. Dylan Carlson, right field, batting 8th, and Mike Ciani from Penn Charter, batting 9th, playing center field. So he's got a lot of fans in attendance. And Lance Lynn is on the mound, 2-3 with a 3.45 ERA, 53 Ks. And he against the Phillies earlier, Tommy.
Well, we were a little.
April 10th, he had 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 runs. We did have a run, 2 runs. 4 walks, 6 Ks, 94 pitches.
Well, he's been known to give up some long balls, and we were a little lacking last week in the long ball department, so we're due.
I think we are due. So our lineup, Kyle Schwarber leading off with 11 home runs. He's got 2 home runs against Lance Lynn in 18 at-bats.
Well, it's June now.
That's good. So Bryson Stott batting second, playing second base. He's 2 for 6 against Lance Lynn. Harper with 14 home runs is 2 for 10 with a home run against Lance Lynn. Bohm batting fourth, third base, 3 for 4, 750 against Lance Lynn. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 5, 200 average. Castellanos is 4 for 16, 250 against Lance Lynn. Clemens is getting a start, batting 7th, playing second base, 2 for 4 against Lance Lynn. Stubbs hasn't faced him. He's filling in for JT, give JT a little break. And then Rojas is batting 9th at 223 average. And on the mound, I said, is Taijuan Walker. So it's Taijuan Walker versus Lance Lynn. So, Tommy, I got to tell you a couple stories, too, before we wrap up.
Brazer stories?
There was a D3 team, Birmingham Southern, who was in the D3 World Series.
Yes.
Right?
I saw that.
And they lost the first game on Friday night, and it was the same day the private liberal arts school doors officially closed after more than 160 years. How about that one?
They're playing for the love of the game, man.
Yeah, because they don't have a school anymore.
They don't have a school anymore.
And then how about this one? A high school in Ohio. I don't have the story in front of me, but I read it. It's incredible. There's a guy hits a ball. The second baseman and the shortstop converge. And it gets into shallow. The guy runs, and he realized that the second base is over there, and the third baseman was running over to cover second.
Yeah.
But he kept going because the catcher was on his way to third.
Yeah.
So he kept running to third, and all of a sudden he said that there's nobody at home plate.
Yeah.
He literally
just kept going.
He just keep going, but the guy who ran out and got the ball was running, and he made a diving catch for him and got him out at home plate.
Yeah, he got him at home plate. That was one of the strangest plays. I remember. I saw that one too.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a crazy, crazy thing. So, all right, Tommy. Well, you're going to have the show. The show is going to be in your hands next 2 weeks as I'm in London. I'll have a lot of good stories when I come back.
Well, I'm working with some good guys that love to talk baseball.
Again, you're going to have
Paul
Jolly next Sunday, and that's going to be a post-game show.
Yep.
Because the game's early in England. And then the next one's going to be a pre-game show at Keenan's.
Yep.
And, Tommy, that wraps up today's Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park. Thanks to my co-host, Tommy Greene, our on-site engineer, Chris Hermer, back in the studio, Brooks St. Ives. Thanks also to our guests today, Tim Kirchian, Michael Brown, Anthony Sanfilippo, and Jason Firestone. As I mentioned, we'll be back next Sunday post-game at Keenan's in North Wildwood after the Phillies take on the Mets at a 10:05 game in London. Until then, have a great night, and as the late, great Harry the K says,
we're out of here.